UFC 322, Islam Makhachev, Della Maddalena is on tomorrow, so I'm going to do some last minute locks for some guaranteed hits. These predictions are all 100% accurate. It's my first one ever, so I do have 100% accuracy. Let's start with the early prelim of Viacheslav and Matheus Camilo. So I have Camilo by decision. It's just because Borshev is not... He's kind of slowed down recently in his career, coming off of 2 losses, Tom Nolan, which isn't the worst. But, I just see him not picking up the pace. The Long Top win, that's not as good. Long Top is not UFC caliber. The Hooper loss, that's fine getting submitted by him, but it's not the best in terms of striking what he did for that fight. And then the Terrence McKinney fight got submitted first round. Again, not the worst look because McKinney does have good grappling, but I don't feel like Borshev has been there recently. He's kind of dying off. 2-fight losing streak. Camilo, he's younger. He's coming off his first loss, but his first debut fight in the UFC. He lost to Gabe Green. Not the best look, but I don't see that same kind of threat from Borshev. No submission wins. He's been submitted a few times. He's mainly a knockout guy, and I trust Camilo to be safe enough. He's never lost by a knockout. His submission is his grappling's his biggest weakness, and I don't see Borshev utilizing that to the best of the ability. So I'm going to say Matheus Camilo by decision, 29-28, maybe 30-27 if Borshev does slow down. It's kind of depending on the first round, in my opinion. If Camilo wins the first round, 30-27 all day. Moving on to Shevchanko versus Eric Makhachev. No research really needed for this one. You just say Shevchanko KO. I'm going to say round 2 instead of round 1. Makhachev can kind of stay in there. He stayed in there with some heavy hitters before. So I don't see him instantly getting killed. Ruzaboyev is getting him in the second round, but he's surviving the first round with him. He's kind of able to don't look at that one. But, he's kind of a knockout merchant in all of his losses. Easy setup for Shevchanko. I don't see him really struggling too much, maybe in the beginning to try and get range, but I just think along with having the momentum, he's just younger, and he's got so much experience in terms of UFC fights already. It's his second fight already. I think that adds to it. It builds momentum. So he's got a lot of that behind him. Saying round 2 KO. Maybe like a body shot KO. Like his teep to the body on the Contender Series. You could see something like that, but more of like a rear kick or something is what I think might happen. His Cody Brundage win, I thought he lost, but I don't care because it's Cody Brundage. But I'm just not impressed by Eric Makhachev to choose him. Shevchanko, round 2 KO. Up next, Angela Hill, Fatima Klein. Same thing. Oh, there's a bird. Same thing. Angela Hill is kind of a walking punching bag at this point. Now, Fatima Klein has gotten some finishes in her last 2, but I don't see her... Angela Hill is kind of like I'm a zombie the whole round, and I'm just going to kind of smother you. It's kind of her thing. And she's win and lose, that's her thing. She'll lose to Richie, beat Souza, lose to Lucindo. I think Fatima Klein is above the echelon where she can beat Angela Hill. She's old too. 40? Oh yeah. A knockout is like a finish could be good odds. I'm going to stick with decision just because I don't see like Fatima Klein's finishing Martinez and Dudovoka. No clue who they are. I feel like Angela Hill can be crafty enough to stay in. She'll just lose 30-27 probably. It'll be dominant from Fatima Klein. And if not dominant, decision is going to be a finish. But Klein by decision. Up next, Shep Mariscal, Pat Sabatini. Now this is... I trouble this one because Mariscal has beaten Sabatini on the regional scene by split decision. And I just see him beating Sabatini again. I don't see Sabatini doing anything different. He's a smotherer, and what we've seen from Shep Mariscal is he's always pushing. He's always kind of keeping that pressure on him. I think Pat Sabatini will break. Not enough where he'll get a finish. He could late rounds finish. I could see like a round 3 KO where Sabatini is just shelling up and kind of gives up at the end. But I think Mariscal will kind of ride this out to a decision, play it safe, not give up too much coverage, or not get too loose where he'll be taken down easy. So I think Shep Mariscal by decision is a pretty good lock. It's near even, so you can get some money on Shep Mariscal. This is actually pretty good odds for Shep Mariscal, plus 105. I think that's pretty good for how I think it's going to go. Probably 30-27, maybe 29-28 decision. I think Shep Mariscal has this in the bag. Up next, Gerald Meerschaert, Cal Dukakis. I'm going to have to go with the Darce Knight, Cal Dukakis himself. Beating Michael Pereira in a first-round knockout is impressive. I don't care if he sucks and he's awful. He went to a close decision with Abbas Magomedov, which even though Abbas Magomedov himself isn't the best, he still is top-tier caliber, and I think at this point in Meerschaert's career, he's fallen off 3 in a row. He's just keeping that downward momentum. I think he's going to lose this round 1 KO. Dukakis isn't really like a, like power puncher. He wasn't that Pereira fight, but you don't really expect that. But I think after that Oleszczyk loss where he got pieced up with the 3-piece combo and gives up, he gave up before he got knocked out in his last fight by Michael Oleszczyk. He kind of was just shooting takedowns from range, getting them stuffed, and just you could tell the defeat on his face, and I think he's going to carry that over to this fight. And he'll get KO'd round 1 again, and he's going to have to get either cut or retired. Retire in the cage probably if it's not too bad of a knockout. Please give Meerschaert some mercy. But I think it's a round 1 knockout for Dukakis. Moving on. Woolmaker versus Ethan Ewing. So this is last minute. This is why you do last minute locks. Because people pull out fight day, and it's disappointing. But now we have Woolmaker, Ethan Ewing. I mean, I'm still just going to do... I mean, you could probably put anybody. You could probably put like a Walmart plastic bag or... I honestly say you put Francis Ngannou in front of him. I'm going to pick Woolmaker round 1 KO, right hook. It's just... I think it's foretold in the future of every fight. There's no way to ignore it. So yeah, I mean, now I must just say, what is he? Oh, it doesn't even have the odds because it's that brand new. But yeah, Woolmaker KO round 1. Breaking news: sky is blue. Moving on, Aaron Blanchfield, Tracy Cortez 2. I know Cortez beating Blanchfield, but she's wearing fake eyelashes mid-fight. She's doing interviews with Nina Drama. I don't think I've seen Aaron. The only time you see Aaron Blanchfield is in the cage, and then that's it. She doesn't even I don't think she even does media day. She is in and out, gone. She's working solely on getting better. She lost to Menon Ferrat. Not a bad loss at all. You just saw what she did to Jasmine Judavicius. So surviving to a decision. I guess not surviving, but, making it to a decision is pretty good in my opinion. Not the worst. And then the Rose Namajunas win. Crud. I can't say it. Anyways, that is the big thing. It was a year ago, but... her Macy Barber fight that got canceled because Barber died because of her, I don't know, she just died, I guess, before that fight. I would have picked Blanchfield for that. Tracy Cortez is like on the same level as Macy Barber, if I'm being honest. Maybe a little bit better in terms of well-roundedness, but I don't see Cortez pulling this out. She's not focused on her MMA career. Blanchfield is. Blanchfield decision. It's WMMA. Blanchfield decision. Moving on. Kopylov, RoboCop. Now, even though RoboCop looks like an 80-year-old man, he is younger than Kopylov somehow. So I'm picking RoboCop, round 2 knockout. I think Kopylov's last fight, he just shows he doesn't take pressure well. And he was getting pressured by Paulo Costa, who is not, 6'3", 6'2"? It says 6'3" right there. 6'3", massive RoboCop man who waddles in, throws hooks, isn't scared to grapple. I think Kopylov needs to kind of reset. Even his Chris Curtis fight, which was, is that his last one? Yeah. He was going to a decision. If he went to decision, maybe he would have won because that head kick at the end, which would have maybe gotten him that win. But it was a close fight with Chris Curtis. He was making it competitive with Chris Curtis, who is now at welterweight. So you could say Letterman skill, but I think Chris Curtis is not the best person ever. He lets fights get away from him. He spars. I think RoboCop is going to pressure him, get him up against the fence, have him on the back foot, knock him out. Not round one as quick as Hermansson. Hermansson's less defensive than Kopylov, so I can see maybe the back and forth. RoboCop's outstriking him barely, outpointing him in the first round, second round. He finds Kopylov's chin, puts him down. We say, Chase Hooper at middleweight is gone. It was a fun ride while we had it. And then RoboCop probably gets KO'd by Cannonier again in a rematch anyways. Bo Nickel, Rodolfo Vieira. This one sucks because I can see Bo Nickel getting submitted. But I'm going to have to choose Bo Nickel just out of the principle that his win over Tresean Gore was that he just outstruck Tresean Gore, and Tresean Gore just let him do it. I think Tresean Gore, if you took off both of his arms before that fight, there'd be no difference. He just let him punch him. And Bo Nickel, even though he lost to Reiner de Ritter, and Reiner de Ritter lost to Brennan Allen, so he must suck. Reiner de Ritter's good. He's a lot bigger than Vieira. He's a lot rangier. And I think this is just going to be his Paul Craig fight. Bo Nickel is just going to repeat this Paul Craig fight. Kind of outside Russian, maybe. Not really go for anything too bad. Just kind of outstrike him to a decision. I think Rodolfo Vieira also just lets fights get away from him. He just kind of sees how it goes. He doesn't push for anything. He's not going to try and make a stand. He'll just go, we're striking now. I'll let you outstrike me, and then we'll be in round 3 and go, man, this is headlining the prelims. Okay, that's cool. And then Bo Nickel decision. We're saying, all right, we don't care about Bo Nickel, even though we already don't. Main card. Beneil Dariush, Benoît Saint Denis. Now, if you're ever getting dropped by Moicano in the first round, I'm going to pick Saint Denis to KO you in round 2. I don't care. I don't care about that he beat Moicano and Moicano beat Saint Denis. I just think that if you were getting dropped by Moicano, a guy who I love Money Moicano, but I think his striking is on the same level as my striking. And I haven't even really done anything. So I think Benoît Saint Denis, he's on a win streak. It's kind of clumped together. He was supposed to fight Joel Alvarez. Got Kyle Prepelec. They brought him in just as a sacrifice. He was doing decent. And then he did Mauricio Rufy, who still got ranked after this because, I don't know. He did get hit with a flying knee in the Rufy fight. That was crazy that he just ate that. So I trust in Saint Denis to take any shot that Dariush has, because he's gotten knocked out by Dustin? Okay. But Dariush, I do not see Dariush having the same power as Dustin. His Moicano fight is bad, but I think it's because of the way he was giving it up. He gave up full mount instantly, and once you're there, he just kind of, I thought in his mind, he was like, all right, I'll take this round off and just survive. And then into round 1 against Moicano, he has both eyes gone, so that probably didn't go as well. But I think Dariush is just at the end of his career. I know he's third. It says 36. I think that's supposed to say like 63 or something. He has gray hairs. His 2 losses are to Arman and Oliveira, which aren't that's. I mean, everyone's going to lose to Oliveira and Arman. That's not as bad. I just don't see him doing any... Like, the Moicano fight, they just kind of sat it and swing at each other, and Moicano sucks and got out-grappled. I think Saint Denis is going to push, make a moment. Moicano kind of fumbled the finish at the end of round 1. I think Saint Denis can capitalize on any kind of weakness that Dariush shows, and if he drops him, I think it'll be done. Because I think Saint Denis can submit him. I wouldn't be surprised if he can drop him and submit him. But I'm going for like a more of a... He drops him, he kind of gets on him, maybe gets a full mount or something from that drop, some dominant position on the ground from that drop, and just bam, bam, maybe some elbows. Finishes Dariush. Because he's 30, or he's 60. Edwards Prates. I think... I can't... What's the... 80% of the 76 are saying by KO for Prates, with 0% by submission, 14 by decision. I think if you choose Leon Edwards, you're kind of hoping and praying that you have an Ian Gary Part 2. That's what you're hoping for. And I just don't see that happening. I don't see Carlos Prates in the Ian Gary fight, which Ian Gary is very good. He's being MVP. So I don't really hold that Ian Gary fight against him. It was short notice for Ian Gary, but also Carlos Prates. I think he was waiting to get loose for the Ian Gary fight, and it just never happened. He was like, all right, after this flurry, Ian Gary's going to gas. I'm going to get loose. I'll knock him out. What you almost saw in round 5. I think if Ian Gary got gassed in round 5, it would have been a Carlos Prates round 5 or round 4 knockout. But Ian Gary stayed in there till round 5. That's when he got gassed, and he was able to survive till the end. Looking all weird and messed up while Prates is all over him. I think it's going to be the same. Or not the same, but I think Prates is going to be able to get calm and smooth and flowy, and he's going to be in the matrix against Edwards early. Because Edwards doesn't apply that pressure that Gary does that made Prates shell up and kind of rethink his approach. Edwards kind of lets you walk into him, and then he'll go from there. He'll jab, he'll feel you out, he'll low kick you. But I don't see him stopping Carlos Prates from getting into that zone, which is why I'm thinking in round 2, round 1, Jeff Neal's just a little too hittable, in my opinion, which is why he got the round 1 KO. I think round 2 KO for Prates is the best thing. Maybe round 1 he'll hit Edwards with something big, but I think at round 2 is really when he's going to put him away. Highlight reel KO. Everyone's laughing at Edwards, saying this guy was champ. And then you go, how bad is Usman? How do you lose to this guy twice? And then you go, fighting nerds are back, even though it's only Carlos Prates, which is good. Maybe Gene Silva. But that's my prediction for Edwards Prates. Oh my goodness, amazing fights. Now, I could regret this. I very well much so could regret choosing Michael Morales to knock out Sean Brady in round 2 via a knockout punch. I don't know. Maybe a hook or something, like a wide overhand. Or maybe something up the middle and he catches Brady shooting in. It could be that. If he survives to round 2 and he times him well. It's just how are you going to get chinned by Belal? And I know Belal stuffed his takedowns and put pressure on him. And Morales has been taken down. I think Morales has been taken down in every single fight he's had. That could be fake news and a fake stat that I just made up. But I'm going to treat it as a real stat, and he's been taken down in every fight he's had. And he did run through Gilbert Burns, and Brady dominated Gilbert Burns, so there's not much of a difference there. I just think Morales, I think he's too long and rangy, where he can kind of stay outside and make Brady shoot from the open. He'll make Brady want to shoot, not getting close to him. I think he'll be dangerous up close, and Brady will try and shoot from distance, and he won't try and shoot as much as he can up close, and that's where Morales can stuff it. Because all of his takedowns that he's getting taken down with are up close. He's up on them, and they take him down. I don't see Brady. I see Brady being too scared. I mean, if you're getting chinned by Bilal, he may get chinned by the gust of air when he's walking into the cage. Brady, I don't know. So I'm going to choose Morales. He's the slight underdog, which is pretty good odds, I think. Because this fight, no, that's probably the right odds. I just think a slight underdog for Morales is just a good deal. You know, this is a 2-for-1 special at Walmart or something. Like, you can't pass it up. I got to go, because I can't just say, I would hate myself if I had seen Brady get chinned by Bilal and then not pick Morales to chin Brady. I would hate myself. So I'm going to do that. 32% choosing Morales. You know, bit of an underdog pick. I think this is my biggest underdog pick on the card, is Morales. Actually, yeah. Coming up next, Valentina Shevchanko versus Zhang Weli. I mean, there's the GOAT. Alright, you have the GOAT and then you have a bum who is drawing with Alexa Grasso and losing to Alexa Grasso and arguably losing to Manon Fiorot. Alright, and I know Manon Fiorot, she has man in her name and she's big, and, you know, that's a good win thinking back, because she just knocked out Jasmine Judavicius in the first round at UFC Vancouver. But I think Weli is just too well-rounded. She's too fast for her. She's going to be too... She's well-experienced. What is she? 26-3. I know Shevchenko's 30 fights, but she's only one less fight. She has less losses. She's younger by a year, which I think in women's MMA adds like a year. It's like dog years. WMMA years is like dog years, I feel like, because you don't really see old. I mean, Angela Hill's 40, crud, and she's still doing decent. Never mind. Either way, near even. Shevchenko's the slight favorite. I like the underdog pick of Zhang Weli. I just think that she's been too consistent, you know. Even though you can say in the Yan Xiaonan fight, she was getting dropped. She was getting blown across the cage. Like, she was getting punched by Superman sometimes, but I don't see Shevchenko letting herself be... She's a lot more tense, I feel like. You know, she's a lot more grapple heavy. She smothers you a lot more. I don't see Zhang Weli letting that happen for too long. I can see her, you know, beating her just slightly, just barely beating her to the punch, being a little bit quicker than her in grappling. I think it'll be probably 49-46, 4-1 Weli. I think is a good scorecard. I don't see it being a finish. You know, if you're not finishing strawweight, you're not going to finish a flyweight, I feel like. But Zhang Weli decision. Lock it in. Finally, main card. Jack Della versus Islam Makhachev. Another underdog pick, but, I mean, how do you go against Jack Della? Alright, I know this is a tough one to pick. Especially the way I'm doing it, because round 4 KO, even though I do see a lot of people saying, dude, for this one it's going to be a finish either way. I can see a decision. Now, I don't see a decision for Islam unless it's a smother backpack fest the whole time. I don't see him, because Volk, even though the Volk first decision for Volk was very, very impressive from Islam, I see Jack just working a little bit harder, being harder to muscle around, so Islam starts losing it in the later rounds. So I don't really see a decision for Makhachev. I think a decision highly favors JDM. But I think just the Dustin fight, you know, he's getting whooped up a little bit. I know he's whooping up Dustin. He has good head movement. He's very defensive. But I think JDM's he's a sniper, dude. I don't care what you say. JDM is so accurate. I think he'll see Islam start doing that head movement, and he'll lead him into something. You know what I'm saying? He'll see, he's ducking down to the right a lot. A weird right uppercut kind of thing. Like he does his body shots. You know how he opens up with his hips? I can see him doing that for like a headshot while Islam's ducking down, trying to dodge and weave. Bam! You know, pops his nose, maybe reopens that Dustin cut that he gave him. there's a lot of things where I just don't see Islam submitting him instantly. You know, and I know people are gonna say Bilal didn't implement his game plan. He didn't shoot in the first two, but I think that's because of how much presence JDM can have in the cage. And sometimes presence is all you need to stop someone from committing with their game plan. If they feel like it can't work, they won't go for it. I mean, that's just how it is. Now, Islam's going to be more hard-headed. He'll probably shoot halfway into round one, and that'll set the pace. And depending on that, that's where it'll go. But right now, I'm trusting in Jack Della for a round 4 KO. I don't care. It's going to happen. Now that I'm done with my picks, I have some prize picks that I think are a pretty good lock. If you do, how do I change? Flex play $20 to win $500. Pretty good. I like the significant strikes game because you can really read and hear it by the numbers. We go by the numbers. And even though Fatima Klein and her head kick KO won, she still got 70 strikes or whatever. She got 92. She got 15 against Manon Fiorot or something. Is that it? No, that's her other knockout. She got 15, but I think I see the Angela Hill going to a strong unanimous decision where Fatima Klein just piecing her up the whole way. They're like, how's Angela Hill surviving this? This is because she's an old hag that's 40 years old and is somehow surviving Fatima Klein head kicks. I could see that happening. She just tanks a head kick from old age. I don't know. But I think if Fatima Klein, more than 70 strikes, she averages 48, but that's within her last 3. I think she's going to start going to more decisions as she gets higher up in the rankings, and this is going to be her first decision out of her KO streak, and I think it's going to be more than 70 strikes, so that's a lock. Shep Mariscal or Jose Mariscal, I mean, that's an easy more than. He averages 67. I don't see Sabatini, what's it called? What does DJ say? Stifling him? There we go. I don't see DJ stifling him enough to stop him from getting at least 35 significant strikes. So I think that's like a lock. Like, I know I said that Fatima Klein is a lock. This is a triple lock then. I'm so confident on this. I think Shep Mariscal is going to put some work on Pat Sabatini. Like I said, another decision. I can see that going all the way. Erin Blanchfield, I mean, any woman's fight, when you see this for any woman's fight, and you know it's going to decision, because Cortez is like a blockhead. You know, she'll stay in there. She doesn't really get finished too often, so she'll just kind of get beat up. You know, 130, 100, 110, 130, 60, 150, 125. I think more than 58 significant strikes, 59 significant strikes is easy peasy money. 75.4 in the last 5, that's easy money for Erin Blanchfield to get 70 or 60 significant strikes. Easy money. What else? Michael Morales. Now, I know I picked him, but the way I see it, Gilbert Burns, Jeff Neal Magny, if he knocks Brady out, I'm thinking it's a round 1 or 2 knockout. If Brady is getting his takedowns from distance and he's getting him smothered, I can see the only way I see Morales winning is first 1 or 2 rounds, and if not, it's going to be like the Edwards fight all over again. Maybe less action from Brady, there's no finish from Brady probably if he wins, but I think he will stifle Michael Morales. So I think 41, win or lose, it's going to happen. He'll get less than 42 significant strikes. He knocks out Brady. He's getting volume punched by Bilal, I think. Volume knocked out by Bilal, I think if he knocks out Brady, it'll be like 13, maybe 20 significant strikes. And if Brady wins this decision, I think under 42 is a pretty good lock. Valentina Shevchanko. Now, I know she said she's more grappling reliable, and she doesn't really strike as much anymore, but she still puts out some numbers. What? That's 45 for the Grasso one. I think that's the Grasso fight. And the draw, she had 80. Fiorot, where I thought she was holding her down a lot, she still got 72, so I think 69 significant strikes is a good even bet for her and Weli, where they're both going to be pretty even everywhere. Only thing that Shevchenko could do is maybe she is just too big for Weli and she holds her down, but I don't think she will. I think Weli can kind of shrimp out of places and tuck up and, make herself small and escape from Valentina Shevchanko, and they'll be striking for a little bit. I think over 5 rounds, them getting to at least 70 significant strikes for Shevchanko is pretty good. And finally, Jack Della, even in the Gilbert Burns fight, 3 rounds, he's broken arm. Broken arm, he's still getting, 67 significant strikes? What's this 14? Is that against Pete, whatever? The Sean Brady looking guy that got knocked out? Uh-oh. I'll have to charge that. Even then, that's like a first round knockout. After that, no, that's probably not. That's probably, who would that be? I don't know. Maybe that's Randy Brown. I don't know. Anyways, more than 56.5 significant strikes is a lock for JDM. Unless Islam finishes it early, which he could. But I feel like for JDM, 56.5 significant strikes, if he gets going, you're not stopping him. He's going to get that. Like I said, if you want to do a flex play, you may get the JDM one wrong. That's the only one I'm really scared of, the JDM and Morales one wrong. And you'll still get, that's 2 wrong? 2 times? You get 20, you get 40. That's pretty good. You want to go all in, you get 750. But those are my last minute locks with my prize picks. But yeah. So I'll probably put into a word, get my percentages and stuff for my first card. And see how good I did. So, make some money. Don't be funny. Buy the numbers. See you later.